hers, okay, then she has a right to maintain that easement.
Sure.
Okay.
And she's not.
And if she has water lines or septic lines or anything
Which
like that.
she does not.
Okay. Stop interrupting me. If she has water lines or septic lines, okay, she has a right to maintain those. Okay, right? That's
sure.
What I said.
If she does.
If she does.
And she does not.
Okay. That is something that you need to hash out with her in civil court. Whether you build a fence or you get a restraining order or what have you, she's claiming she has an easement. You're saying she does not. Okay. That is something.
She has a 6-foot easement to maintain a water line.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
And she does not have a water line. She does not use my spring.
Okay.
She has no business being on my property. She has no business telling me what to do when I'm on my property.
Okay. So, again, that's not what she claims. Okay?
Of course.
So, I recommend that you and her somehow, some way, communicate it and come to some sort of understanding.
We're done with that.
Okay. And then go to court and get a restraining order.
Sure.
Okay. That's
Sure.
This
Yes,
is
sir.
a civil issue between her and you.
Absolutely. I totally understand.
And she'll bring her documentation to court.
Sure.
You bring your documentation
Absolutely.
to court.
She's already tried that. Yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't work because I'm not doing anything wrong.
Can I finish, or are you going to keep interrupting me?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
And so can I.
You'll bring your documentation. She brings her documentation, right? And then a judge will determine.
I know how it works, sir.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. Anything else I can help you with today?
Can I interject?
Sure.
Please?
What would you like to say?
So, obviously, at some point, your property ends and hers begins, right?
Right at the line that's clearly marked by the road.
Is it
Yes.
just that one orange post thing?
That is a property marker in the ground.
Okay.
If you have a compass, you can see north-south.
Okay.
It's the property line, sir.
Is there an engineering line? Is there a fence? Is there anything that demarks your property line?
Absolutely. There's a property marker in the ground that was placed by the appraisers or the whatever they call it. Yeah, it's been there for years, forever. It's been there before I bought the
For
property.
today's purposes, just hers, so she quits calling. Just, if you could please just not go on her property. I'm not saying that.
Oh, I have not been on her property,
That way,
sir.
I mean, it's clear. I mean, we can go out there and see, hey, he hasn't gone out there, and then we can politely tell her that, hey, he's on this property, and you can.
I would appreciate if you told her to stay off my property unless she's on her 6-foot easement, which she's not.
Yeah.
And I would appreciate if you would tell her to leave me alone while I'm on my property.
Sure.
She is starting stuff with me. She came out aggressively in my face, tried to push me down that hill. I will defend myself, sir. I am not afraid of an old lady who calls the police. Okay? And she's not that old. That's what she tried to do. She tried to get me on senior citizen harassment or elderly abuse is what she tried, because I mow my lawn.
Right.
Okay, so I'm done with her harassment. I'm done with your harassment. It is.
I'm not sure where your property line is, but at least that way.
It's clearly marked, sir.
Okay. I haven't been out there. I got here later.
Okay.
But as long as I can clearly say, hey, he's on his property. He's doing what he's allowed to do by law, and
I'm doing nothing wrong.
right. I'm not saying you are.
And there will be a fence up there by the end of the summer, and I'm sure you'll get many calls when my workers are installing it.
All right. All right.
Okay, just so you know.
I'll let her know that. Yeah,
Please do.
He can weed eat on his property.
And I can erect a fence on my property line as long as I leave her 6-foot access point to maintain her non-existent water lines.
Yeah. Whatever it's done legally. I've
Sure.
seen it where,
I am all about the law, sir.
Yeah, no, there was a case where this lady tried to do a grading, ended up damaging a person's property in the process, and the judge ended up ordering that they.
There will be a road going in right there where she claims her septic lines are. If her lines get damaged, that's on her. They're not on her property.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, as long as it's done legally, then.
Everything's legal here, sir. I'm not growing marijuana. I'm tired of my neighbors asking me to calm the smell down, okay?
Yeah.
Well, of course, she's probably turned on her fans. I don't know, but it smells 2 or 3 times a day. I've had people stop me and say, there's no reason it should smell like that. I'm like, yeah, well, tell her. So I'm clearing that line. Everyone can see where it's coming from. Please don't bother me again.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get called for anything else, but if she does, I'll just reiterate that he's on his property.
And you guys don't knock on the front door like normal people? You walk around houses?
Well, we were weed eating when we drove by, and we heard you weed eating, so he went this way and I went that way.
Yeah, you sure did, huh? Try to ambush, sneak up. You guys are sneaky. Have a good day, sir.
Yeah, you too.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.